Well, what a day it was to be a Batman fan. I It started off with Brave and the Bold news and then continued with the Batman 2 news. And DC fans went absolutely crazy. I get it. There's a lot of, I guess, worry for where this franchise or these franchises are going. But I sit here and you have to wonder, like, can people just relax a little bit? Can people just have a little trust in the process? Now, first off, let's talk about this Brave and the Bold, I guess, news that came out. And it's not really so much news. I think we've all expected this to be the case, but a lot of people have been, I guess, hoping, even I have been hoping that it would be going in a different direction where they would be kind of speeding this up a little bit. And what I mean by that is Muschietti was talking to a podcast called the California Secreta podcast. I'm not going to play it because it's not in English, but he states that the Batman film, The Brave and the Bold, won't be happening for a while and might make a smaller film, and he might make a smaller film before jumping to The Brave and the Bold. Now, why would that happen? Some people are saying, and this is before the Batman 2 news came out, some people started saying, well, obviously he's going to get fired or he's not doing The Brave and the Bold. And that is a possibility here. He could just be saying this just so people, or just because they haven't decided to make the announcement that he's not part of the project anymore. Or maybe there's something else going on. Maybe they don't have the script ready. Because if you don't remember, James Gunn said they're not happy with the Brave and the Bold script yet. And that could be why. If they're not happy with the script, they're not going to make the movie. Thus, Muschietti may want to move and continue working. So he may want to do a smaller film prior to jumping into Brave and the Bold. So that's what's going on there. I don't think there's a lot to be worried about here because they want to make sure that they get a good script. They want to make sure that the movie is done right and well. But the big thing, the absolutely huge thing with this that I don't really appreciate, because I'm not a huge fan of what they did with Pattinson's Batman, the Matt Reeves Batman, is that this DCU Batman is just getting delayed. And I don't want that to happen. I want a DCU Batman. I want him introduced. I want it moving forward. I want it going. And I get that they want to get the script right. But if Muschietti is going to be the director, if he is truly the director of that Brave and the Bold movie, I want them to really buckle down and get this moving and get it right. I don't want them pushing it. I want them to buckle down and get it right. Now, that doesn't mean that we can't see this DCU Batman pop up elsewhere. He could pop up in Lanterns. He could pop up in Supergirl. He could pop up in Clayface. He can pop up in other areas in some form or fashion. Hell, in even Creature Commando Season 2 or in Peacemaker, he could pop up and make his presence known. But if we want the full Batman experience, yes, we're going to need to have a Batman movie at some point. And hopefully that happens sooner rather than later. But there's a part of me that was thinking, when this news came out, this is getting delayed. This is getting pushed because of Matt Reeves' Batman. If it wasn't for Matt Reeves' Batman, well, would they be fast-tracking this a bit more? And that's really what I was thinking. But it was shortly after this dropped that this dropped. The Batman 2 has been delayed yet again 1 year to October 1st, 2027. Now, it wasn't long ago. It was not long ago that it was delayed to October 2nd, 2026. And now it's being pushed an entire year again. So Variety posts at 9:13 Pacific time. The Batman 2 delayed to 2027, and a Tom Cruise movie took their date. It says moviegoers will have to wait a little longer to return to Gotham City as Matt Reeves' follow-up to The Batman has been pushed back until 2027. The superhero sequel was originally supposed to open on October 2nd, 26, but will now shift an entire year and open on October 1st, 27 in IMAX. Warner Brothers announced on Friday. So, what happened here? Because it was just a couple weeks ago where Matt Reeves was saying that he's finishing up the script and they're going to start shooting in 2025. Okay. And it wasn't long ago that James Gunn was talking about how, yes, he's seen some of the script and he's giving Matt Reeves the time to finish it and everything like that. So it seemed like things were moving. It seemed like James Gunn's giving Matt Reeves the time. Matt Reeves is saying, hey, it's moving. We're going to have something ready and we're going to start shooting in 2025. It seemed like things were going along. Well, obviously, people wanted to find out from James Gunn himself what was going on, what is happening. So, Real Anarchy, buddies over there, says, hello, James Gunn. Can you please confirm whether this is true or add some more context? And James Gunn says, sure. Yes, it is true. The only reason for the delay is there isn't a full script. Those of you who follow me here probably know that already. Matt is committed to making the best film he possibly can, and no one can accurately guess exactly how long a script will take to write. Once there is a finished script, there is around 2 years of pre-production shooting and post-production on big films. Now, the interesting thing is, I believe it was the Hollywood Reporter in their article was stating that it was going to be VFX heavy. And because there was going to be so much VFX, that it was going to have to be a lot longer of a post-production to get this done. Now, James Gunn is saying that the script isn't completed. And obviously, that because of that pre-production shooting and post-production on big films can take up to 2 years, which he's not wrong. It does take a long time for films to get completed on big films, and that could be a big part of it. I mean, you're talking about with pre-production, shooting, and post-production, you're looking at about 2 years' time on larger films. That makes sense. He's not wrong. He's not lying about that. Excuse me. But in the grand scheme of things, that means that shooting is still going to take place in 2025. Most likely the latter part of 2025. Maybe October, maybe somewhere around there it's going to start, maybe a little sooner, earlier than that in 2025. But it looks like production could probably start in 2025 as long as the script gets done and ready by that time. You know, that's the thing. If this script isn't done, it could continue to get pushed and pushed and pushed. That's the concerning part. But he says the script isn't done. What could be causing the script not being done? You know, I don't know. But I've always said, and people will get pissed off at me, I know. But I've been saying, like I go back to the original story we just talked about, I say just cancel it. I do. Look, there's no denying that I was not a fan of the Matt Reeves Batman stuff. And sure, this would piss off a handful of people, more than a handful of people. But this would piss off people. But I think it's time to, like, personally, I think it's just time to move on from it. Personally, that's just what I think. But they're not going to. I get it. I just wanted to put this out there. Maybe it'll start a little controversy. Who knows? But I think they just need to move on because I think we need the DCU Batman ASAP. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. But our buddy RJ, Resident Justice, he wanted to put out there on social media, and he said, I think everyone should just relax. Be a little nicer to Matt Reeves regarding this whole situation. Dude is dealing with a lot, and that's all he can say on the matter. And it's interesting because this came out shortly, less than an hour after really everything started to, really get the ball rolling on this news and this information. And then things started to really come out more throughout the day. Even Grace Randolph says it has absolutely nothing to do with James Gunn or anybody at Warner Brothers. Yet you have a lot of people sitting there blaming James Gunn, blaming Warner Brothers. It's not them. There is apparently something going on. And that's the interesting part. I think everybody needs to just err on the side of caution. Just let things go. Let's just let things go. Whether you like the Batman franchise or not, it's going to happen. I understand that. I say things. I say it should be canceled. I know it's not going to get canceled at this point. It's going to make too much money. I get that. I know it's going to make money. And I understand why they're going to continue it. But I honestly think that it's going to happen. It's going to happen. But people are going to sit there and make a big deal out of it. They're going to sit there and make it like it's this, what do I want to say? They're going to make it this controversy surrounding James Gunn because it's an easy way to make controversy out of it. And there's no reason to make a controversy out of it. There's no reason to. Especially because they want to sit there and either do one of two things. There's two sides of this, really. There's the people that want to make controversy out of it and saying that James Gunn is unfit to run the DC studios, and everybody just sticks to James Gunn. They don't realize that Peter Safran is in there still. Like, nobody ever mentions him. It's always just James Gunn. But people will sit there and say, James Gunn's unfit. He's unfit. He's unfit. Look at what he's doing. He's destroying it. There's those people. But then there's the other side who constantly, and I'm looking at you, Superhero Cut. I'm just kidding. But go check out Superhero Cuts. They're a great show. But I just like screwing with them. But there are also these people who sit there and say, well, Pattinson's going to be the DCU Batman. Obviously, that's what's happening here. Everything's happening here because they're delaying it, or this is happening. Oh, look, it's going to get pushed. The script isn't done because they're retooling it because they're going to put Pattinson in the DCU. It's not happening, guys. It's not happening. Just a couple weeks ago, when this whole Clayface stuff was announced and Clayface got a release date and everything like that, they were talking about how Clayface originally had a release date of like a month before Batman 2, when it was still slated to come out in 2026. It was asked to James Gunn, and he goes, well, I mean, Clayface is in the DCU, so it doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter. Despite some rumors, the official line is that the Batman and now the Penguin series will remain an Elseworld project outside the DCU. Again, this was just a couple weeks ago. Clayface is in the DCU, so it doesn't matter. That's why it didn't matter when they put Clayface then. The Batman is going to stay a separate entity. It's going to stay in Elseworld. It's staying outside of the DCU. People need to understand that. It's not going to be part of the DC. It's not going to be. I know there are people that want it to be, but it's not going to be. And that's fine. Personally, I think that's for the best. Again, those of you who think they need to do it for some odd reason, I don't get it. I don't understand why you want it. It doesn't need to happen, but okay, whatever. So those of you who are out there who are trying to bash James Gunn for this, this has nothing to do with James Gunn, has nothing to do with Warner Brothers. For those of you who think this is going to be leading into them adding Robert Pattinson to the DCU, it does not. It has nothing to do with them adding Pattinson to the DCU. That is staying separate. There are some things going on in the background that none of us need to know about. None of us need to worry about. Let's just push forward and understand, if you're a Batman fan, it'll come when it comes. But that doesn't mean we don't have some amazing stuff going on in the DCU right now. Creature Commandos got 2 episodes left. It's been great. We got Superman coming in about 6.5 months. Awesome. Guys, it's a great time to be a DC fan. No reason not to get excited. But let me know your thoughts on all this. It's been a crazy day, crazy 24 hours with all this. I want to know what you think in the comments below. So let me know what you guys think. And with all that said, I'll catch you all later.